If he will be back, when he will be back?
No. I mean, that's really not anything to do with me. That's really, on him. And, he's at the end of the day, I mean, the timing of things are never good. When you're a football player, football coach, or whatever, especially in the season, but at the end of the day, these are still people. And, they're real people with real problems and lives, and they don't always make good decisions and things like that, and sometimes they have problems. But this is, a decision that he's made to kind of step away for a little bit, just like I said, and see if he can get himself better with the issues he's dealing with. But we're not, we're moving forward. Like I said, just like an injury, it's next man up and let's move forward.
You are much more than a coach. You've talked about your support system here, people you've got in place, the Trap, Davis, yourself. Did you try to talk them out of it and try to say, look, push through this?
No, we're here to support our players, and it's just that simple. I've always said I'd rather lose trying to do things right than to win not doing it right. That ain't gonna change. And again, we're fortunate that we got good players, and we'll support DJ best we can, and hopefully he'll be back with us at some point. I have no idea, but that's not my focus. My focus is on this team and making sure we're ready to go. But we got Christian Wilkins and Byers and Jabril and Huggins and Pagano. I mean, we got a great group of guys. We'll be ready to play.
Who do you look to first to replace him?
Well, that's what we're going to let these guys compete between. Probably right now, between Pagano and Wilkins and Byers. Those three guys will probably compete for that next spot. We'll feel good about the work we've gotten out of Carlos. But they're all going to play. They're all going to play. That position, I think we're in pretty good shape, and we got some guys I think that have earned the opportunity to get in there and mix it up.
Does Sterling Johnson now kind of get a better chance maybe that?
No, he's going to redshirt.
He's still going to redshirт? Okay.
You've had a rough 3 or 4 months with personnel issues, like of a variety of sorts. Is that?
I don't think we've had a rough 3. I think it's been a great 3 or 4 months. You got a guy that gets in trouble that gets put off the team out of 115 players. You got a guy that goes pro, who did pretty good the other night, by the way. I was pretty impressed with him at left tackle. You got another guy who gets in a bad situation. We got a lot of guys that have had great summers and great 3 or 4 months. And it's unfortunate that, a few guys that don't do the right things, that's all of a sudden you've had a bad summer, and that's not the case at all. We've had a great summer. And this football team is focused. This football team is ready to play. My job is to always maintain discipline within the program, and I'll do that. And if it means letting a guy go, if it means sitting a guy down, we'll handle that. And I'm the only one that can make those decisions. And I'm very confident in where we are, from that standpoint. But nothing's changed. I love our team, love our personnel, and we'll be ready to play September 5th.
Dabo, is DJ being disciplined, or is this?
No, this is again, a decision that he made for some personal things that he's dealing with. And there's nothing else to say, guys. I'm not going to answer any more questions about DJ Reader. I put a statement out. Don't ask me another question about him. I'm going to talk about the guys that are here on this team. Period, the end. So y'all want to talk about Christian, you want to talk about Huggins, you want to talk about Pagano, you want to talk about the guys that are here, that's who we're going to talk about. All them other guys that aren't here, that's not who we're focused on. So I get it. I've answered your questions. I've made a statement. Ain't nothing else to say.
You've been in college football for a long time. You know this. A defensive line that loses all 4 starters rarely comes back within months and is as good as it was the previous year. An offensive line that loses 80% of the starting lineup rarely is as good as it was. I mean, how often have you seen that?
I have no idea. All I know is we had 42 freshmen in 2011 won the ACC. That's all I know. Grady Jarrett, Sean Williams, all them guys were freshmen and had to play a lot for us. I could care less. All I know is we're going to be judged on what we do this year. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm worried about beating Wofford, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready to play. That I can assure you. We'll be ready to go.
Particularly to report to that, Coach?
What's that?
Any injuries to report? To
No.
Where's Jabril Robinson in his development, and is he ready to contribute?
He's just got to go play. I mean, he's a young guy that's very talented, got a bright future. Just he's never played a snap. I mean, he's got to go play. He's got to go get on tape and have a little success, have some failures. And just at the beginning of his all those guys, Pagano's played. He's got some experience. I think he's ready to go. But Christian and Huggins and Jabril and those guys, they hadn't played. So we'll find out more. But this time last year, Artavis had never played. Deshaun had never played. We'll be all right. They're good players, and they'll by the end of the year, they'll be veteran players for us.
The people on the outside don't see what you see. I mean, they're not the coach. They don't know what's up under the hood. You think too much is often made to that from people on the outside, or whether it be observers, media? Well, hey, they lost 9 starters, or hey, this is good. You think, or is that a fair?
Well, I mean, listen, you can have 20 starters back, but they might stink. That might be a bad thing. I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, there's some bad teams out there with a lot of starters back, and they're probably not going to be very good again. Who's taking their place? Okay, Vic Beasley's gone. Shaq Lawson. Shaq started 1 game in his career. All I know is we got good players, and we ain't making no excuses. Don't look for any excuses from us at Clemson. All right, we're good enough to win. Is it a challenge when you have inexperience? Absolutely. But that's not an excuse. We've recruited well. Let's coach them up, and let's go do the best we can. As long as, and again, I don't measure our success based on our record or the scoreboard. Other people do. I don't. I know what our commitment is. I know what our work ethic is. I know the improvement that guys are making. That's what I pay attention to. And whether that's 15-0 or 8-4, I have no idea. Things happen, and so I that's how I evaluate it. It's not as black and white as some people on the outside see things. They're just not. They just don't know what's going on within our walls and on that practice field. And we'll be evaluated in November. We'll look back and we'll see whether we had a good year or average year or great year. And my expectation is to be a great football team, have a great year, and I love the mentality of our team. I like the chemistry. I like the resolve. I like the focus. This is a team that's going to come ready to play.
Particularly those 4 young defensive tackles, Robinson, Pagano, Huggins, Wilkins. You go out there the first 2 weeks against experienced teams, Louisville and Notre Dame. They have experienced offensive lines. How do you treat them as, now they're going to be counted upon so much in the first 4 games to
just go play? I mean, we just go play. That's what we do. We prepare all year long for 12 Saturdays, and if Dan Brooks rolls one out there, he's going to be ready to play. Is he going to be as good this year as he's going to be as a senior? No. Grady Jerry wasn't as good as a freshman as he was a senior either. Neither was Deshaun Williams. Boy, and I watched Deshaun Williams on TV just dominate the line of scrimmage last night, dominated the point of attack. I mean, dominate. And when he was a freshman, he was a good player with a bright future, but not a great player. But by the end of the year, he was pretty doggone good, and just got better and better and better. So that's just where we are. But the good news is they're talented, And when you got guys that care and you got talent and good coaches, good things happen.
Is this the toughest? You mentioned that Grady and those guys played a lot as youngsters. Was this the toughest hand that Brooks has been dealt, especially in that interior?
Yeah, he's really struggling with Albert Huggins and Pagano and Jabril and Christian Wilkins and Carlos Watkins. I don't feel sorry for Dan Brooks. He's got plenty of talent, and he's loving every second of it. He'll have them coached up. He'll have them ready to go. These are good players, and it would be struggling if we had a bunch of guys that were average. We've got good players that will be ready to play, and they'll be excited to play.
Is Gage Cervenka going to factor into that rotation, or is he going to redshirt?
We're going to try to redshirt him. Going to be a great player. Going to be a great player, but we're going to try to hold him.
Kendall Joseph wasn't back at practice yet, was he?
He'll be back Thursday. Okay. He'll be back in action on Thursday. Hope to get him and Zach, and then him, Zach, and J.D. Davis back on Thursday from the nicks and bangs they've got.
You still have Dane Rogers at defensive end?
Yeah.
No thoughts to put him back at DT?
No, we got him right where we need him to be. With again, just that's part of our deal, this camp, is getting everybody in the right spot. With the depth that we had inside, he was the one guy that needed to move out for us and at least give us a little bit more of a veteran guy with all the young guys we got. And he's done a good job for us. He's going to help us there.
Where's Tanner Muse fit into the defense?
Going to try to redshirt him. Love him. Can fly. He's about 220 pounds. Can absolutely motor. Going to be a really good player. Has gotten better and better and better all through camp. But same thing. We feel good about the depth we have there, and going to try to hold him.
What about Chalmers and Denzel?
Going to try to hold Denzel and Chalmers. Same thing. Same reasons. Talented, athletic, can run. Bright futures, but we love the depth we have there. So that hopefully will give us the opportunity to hold those guys.
Chanel Bell?
Going to hold him.
Trap.
Going to hold him. Yeah, Trap was going gray shirt. He really should be a senior in high school this year. He's a whole year ahead of himself. So he's got to get it. He's got the footwork, the speed, the technique. He just got to physically develop in that weight room, and just his body's. He's just got to mature.
Did you work on kickoffs at all today?
Not today. Today was punt return and field goal, and we did a little bit of pinning them inside the 20 right there at the end of practice with the punt team.
Am I right in thinking it's going to be Artavis, Ray, and Hopper we'll see on kickoff returns?
Yeah, that'll be the kickoff returns.
Kickoff returns.
No, I thought that'll be our three main guys on punt return, and we'll really get dialed in on how we're going to. I think all three of those guys are going to have opportunities. Early in the season. I think that's, again, we don't have preseason games, and you can only do so much in practice. So we got to, and you don't have people in the stands. So we got to try to take it to the next level, and that's get some game experience for those guys. I'm really excited. Ray had a bad day in our last scrimmage, but he's really been good. I think that's an area he can really impact us. Artavis has been phenomenal since last spring, and so is G-Hop. So we got three guys that want to do it, that are excited about it. And then we've really put a big emphasis on the guys that we've got the makeup of that team. And then kick return, we've got several guys. Ray will be a guy that we will work back there. Dion be a guy that'll work back there. Gallman, Fuller, TJ Green. That's kind of the main core guys. That Artavis will also do some kick return, but Hopper won't be a big kick return guy for us. He'll be a little bit more of an option as a punt return guy.
Who's your third offensive tackle?
Frumorgan.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah. Well, if we right now, Hearn would go in. We feel confident if something happened within the game. Mm-hmm. Hearn's ready to go play, and he's as ready as he can be in practice, without having played in the game to go play. And he's really demonstrated that he can help us. So we're excited about him. So he would be the first option as far as, playing the game, finishing the game. If we had somebody with any type of extended type of injury or something like that, then probably would move Joe, and Frumorgan would step in at right tackle. Would be probably our first move. A lot of options though. A lot of options with Mac and Fru and Hearn. Those guys have done a nice job. We hope to redshirt Noah Green, but he's close. He's not far off. He's really made a lot of improvement, and could probably do it too if we need him. But we really feel like he and Zach both could benefit more from that power hour if we can afford to do that.
How much can you quantify how close Guillermo is?
He's close. He's had a good camp, and he's gotten better. He's gotten in, more and more in shape, through camp. Proud of Jay. Attitude's great. This is a perfect example. Different scenario with those two guys, with him and DJ, but there's a perfect example of a young guy that kind of lost his way, and I wasn't sure he would ever be back with us. And not only is he back, but he's a different person. And has just been a breath of fresh air. It's just great to see him back the way I knew Jay, and because he really was in a bad spot, and I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him, and his family for everybody putting their arms around him and helping him through the situation that he was dealing with. I know he looks big and strong, but he's just a little young kid inside, and so. but he's a perfect example. You know, he was away for a while, and he wouldn't even want to play football anymore. And you know, now he's just loving it and having a great time. He's just doing a great job with his teammates, and I don't think I've said his name 3 times all camp for anything, you know, negative or bad, or, you know, hey, let's go. I mean, he has just been a solid, focused guy all the way. So, you know, hopefully it'll be the same thing with DJ, but, you know, that's all in his court.
I know you want to have continuity.